Hello, hello. This is Dr. Robbie Green, and this is our first video lesson. We are on chapter 4, and it is called Philosophical Foundations of U.S. Education. And as a preview of this class, I have told you today, which is September the 11th, 2014, that this chapter deals with educational philosophies. And philosophies are things I don't want to use the word philosophical, but they're ideas of what you think about a various topic. For instance, educational philosophies are what you think about education, the educational process, and all that kind of stuff. So starting on page 114, it has some focus questions, and I believe these are really good questions that start you with the chapter, starting with why is philosophy important to teachers? The second one says, what is the nature of philosophy? What determines your educational philosophy? What are the branches of philosophy? What are the 5 modern philosophical orientations to teaching? What psychological orientations have influenced teaching philosophies? And then finally, how can you develop your educational philosophy? And again, all of these are found on page 114 under the focus questions. So those will also make good test questions, because I don't want to design a test to where it's just rote knowledge. I wanted you to be able to think, because your students that you have are going to be immersed in this Common Core until something comes around and changes it, and they're going to have to think critically. Okay, so starting on, again, page 114 at the top, if you would highlight, underline, or just go over the very first paragraph, and it talks about, it says, if you think about your own teachers in elementary through high school, you have no doubt recall that each of them had a different approach to teaching. Each had a different set of responses to the vital questions that all teachers must answer, which are: what should the purpose or purposes of education be? What knowledge is the most worth? And what values should teachers encourage their students to develop? How should learning be evaluated? So those are also some good questions to think about as you are going through this chapter, and also that we can discuss in class. So be thinking about those as you go through the chapter, because I may ask you those questions in class, and I also may ask you these questions on test. So under this section of why is philosophy important to teachers, which is bolded in red for you, I want to skip down to the 4th paragraph, and under it I'm going to read this. It says, philosophy is also important to schools, as the great educational philosopher John Dewey, and this is a name that you're going to see throughout your educational career. He is a very famous educational philosopher. He has put together several different things that we still use today in educational practices. So make sure you know that name, John Dewey. All right, so let me start over. As a great educational philosopher John Dewey put it, to be concerned with education is to be concerned with philosophy. And here's a quote from him: if we are willing to conceive education as a process of forming fundamental dispositions, that's how you act, dispositions, intellectual and emotional, toward nature and fellow men, philosophy may even be defined as the general theory of education. Most schools have a statement of philosophy that serves to focus the efforts of teachers, administrators, students, parents in a desired direction. So for instance, if you were a school on, say, improvement, or you're a low performing school, you may have a theme or a motto, and it might say something like, we're striving for A and B schools, or we're striving for education, or something, some type of theme. That's not the best one, but I believe before the current superintendent in Greenwood, I believe that their motto was Greenwood Public Schools is a successful school district. So that's an example of what this is talking about, that school districts have a philosophy. The current superintendent has changed that, and his particular um, motto or vision for the schools is maximizing student potential. So when people answer the phone in a school district, they say good morning or good afternoon, this is Bankston Elementary, maximizing student potential. And it's on different parts of educational buildings. It's on marquees. It's on this made into signs and banners across the district. So that's very common. So educational philosophy um, related to a school is very important. Okay, so on the next page, 115, under this section, what is the nature of philosophy? I want you to focus on the first and second paragraph, well, those are the only paragraphs there, and it gives you a definition of philosophy. Philosophy is concerned with identifying the basic truths about being, knowledge, and conduct. While the religions of the world arrive at these truths based on supernatural revelations, philosophers use their reasoning powers to search for answers to fundamental questions of life. Philosophers use a careful step-by-step question and answer technique to extend their understanding of the world. Okay, so kind of like thinking about what makes things tick or why this is the way it is. Just kind of put that in the back of your head. Down to the second paragraph, it says the word philosophy may literally be transferred from the original Greek as love of wisdom. So I may ask you that on question.